Hello there, and welcome to Real Talk with Angry Soccer Mom and Anna. Yay! Thanks for being here, Anna.
Of course.
Yay! I love the earrings. I'm like, can I see your
Thank
wrist?
you.
Very cool.
Etsy.
Very cool. Love it. Love it. You always look beautiful. Do you want to show your picture on your? Can you show your picture on your shirt if you would? If you wish. Very, very
As
cool.
usual, a Black woman being unbothered by the man.
She's. You said she was kind of just like smoking, like, nah.
She's just smoking her cigarette.
Whatever.
Like, I'm not worried about you.
No shit's given. Love it.
No shit's given. Hey, Willow. Love you.
Cool. Welcome, Willow. Happy you're here. Jump in anytime. I'm going to do some quick, boring stuff, and we'll get going. We have a lot to talk about. I have a little pet peeve of my own going on here with one of my topics, and it's I'm sorry for being racist. Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute because I'm sorry. It's a thing. Okay, I'll say it. It's a bullshit thing. Okay, I just get enraged when people are. It's like, at least own up. Don't. No. Okay, we'll get into it. But welcome to Real Talk with Angry Soccer Mom and Anastasia. And today's live series on topics, as always, are anything you feel is newsworthy about racism, anti-racism, bigotry, inequality, and corruption in America. The show is meant to be an opportunity for viewers to speak their mind and kind of do some catharting. I don't always agree with everything everyone says, but I don't have to, because I want to know what you think. And if I agree, that's lovely, but it's still what you think and feel. So I should put a disclaimer. The producers of this movie I don't always agree with what everyone says, but that's their feelings. How can I disagree with someone's feelings? Give me a break. It's how they feel. If you would be kind enough, anybody, to send in breaking news. Breaking news. This is where you could send it. I would be forever grateful. And I am, let me see, blah, 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 blah. Oh, something I rarely mention. I host a Facebook page. On Facebook, I kind of host it because I'm technically kicked off. Long story. YouTube channel, Patreon, Vimeo, Instagram, Twitter, and a Reddit. Okay, it's actually a Reddit. But do I have time to go to all these things? No, but I try. So if you'd like to join any of the communities, I would be thrilled and love it. If you want to call into the show after we get started, here is the number. And we'll try to limit it to just there we go, a few minutes, because we want to talk. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. And let me see. Tonight's topics. The problems with uniting, like we all already don't know. These problems with uniting is our big kind of topic for tonight. Are pandemic restrictions racist? The newest pandemic craze, the Omni, and saying sorry for being a racist, bigoted piece of you-know-what. Is that really possible? Are you really sorry? I'm not talking about people who are trying to learn, like white folks who are just like, honestly, they didn't realize it because they're still learning and they're getting to the advanced stages. Because some of this stuff, if you met your first Black person when you were like, 20 or something like that, never been around, you just don't even know. You try to say things the right, you don't know, you mess up. You're going to mess up. And it gets ugly. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about politicians spewing just filthy hate, and talking about one in particular. So yeah. All right. I don't know if you guys saw, but on my channel, I put the one about Representative Bobert and what she said about Pete. Mayor Pete Buttigieg, and what she said about Representative Omar. And it was obnoxious, completely premeditated. The woman was basically reading a speech she obviously had, and totally made up. She lied. She made up the story. And then she went, and okay, I'm just saying, you can see, I'm not going to show the video. You can see it on the channel. You can probably see it anywhere. I mean, it was ridiculous. And then her apology, oh my God, her insincere, disingenuous, oh my God, made for movies apology was obnoxious. She apologized to the Muslim folks that she might have insulted. Well, I felt excluded because I am not of Muslim faith. And I wanted her to, no, I'm just kidding. It was just ridiculous. Like, she doesn't think other people are like, oh my God, you little psycho. When people do stuff like that, I don't know if they're trying to be funny or like, I don't know what they're doing, but it's really like, I think like Twilight Zone shit, you know? T, welcome. I just think, damn, you know? So anyway, what do you think, Anna? Big Red.
What's going on, Big Red and Tawanda?
Thanks for being
So,
here.
as you know, I've already put out a change.org petition to ban Karen's, Gertrude's, and Becky's. So you know how I feel about it. And the simple fact of the matter is, we talked about this earlier, that white women have never had to face consequences for anything that they've done. I'm gonna cry. I weaponize my tears. I'm gonna weaponize everything about me. And the simple fact of the matter is, when I was in the army, that happened all the time. They didn't feel like they could, yeah, oh yes. Oh
Damn.
yes. They didn't feel like they should be held accountable.
Do tell.
Yeah. Oh, well.
If you want, you don't have to, but I mean,
Oh, no, it's cool, because I could give a good hot damn. But basically, the white women that I dealt with in the military, it was either one of those things where I was their attack dog. So they looked like, oh, she's the nice one. And Sergeant First Class Doctor was the mean one. It was like, no, it's not like that. But at the end of the day, when you put yourself in a position like that, and they would start crying and make excuses, and then you would quote unquote feel bad. But at the end of the day, what I'm talking about with this, she's in the vein of Carolyn Bryant and Amber Geiger, where you caused something, you did it, and oops, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it. Let me cry. Or the simple fact of the matter is, oh, I didn't know that was my gun. I thought it was a taser. Like, now you go to the incompetence, and then you lean in on that. Oh, I'm just a girl. I'm just a woman. You know what I'm saying? How was I supposed to know? So, like I said, I don't negotiate with terrorists. And so when it comes to white women in the aggregate, like Dr. Cooper said, they have chosen to be the villain. And the video that we saw about the young woman, I use that loosely, where she said that women shouldn't have the right to vote. And yeah, you've seen that video.
Yes, I saw it.
You've seen it.
I saw it.
Yeah, because she knows that even in her cage, because it's going to be a cage, she's going to have a better cage than I am.
Right.
9 out of 10 times, I'm going to be cleaning her cage out.
Oh, that falls back, right? And that falls back on the, even if it hurts me, it'll hurt you worse, and that's all I care about. It's okay. I'm just gonna be real. Jewish. Imagine that. What Anna's saying, I completely get, and historically, white women have not been good to Black people. Oh no. And a lot of times we'll have like our little fairy tale books that kind of make it look like, the sweet, kind, nice woman who, no, I'm sure there were some here and there, but let's be real. We rewrote that fantasy. Overall, we have been the catalyst and the instigators of some of the most horrific. I don't know if you guys saw a video I put up. I don't even know who the guy is. He's got to be famous because he was fantastic. He's talking about the Casual Killing Acts, and he was explaining the origins of the Casual Killing Acts. I had no idea that the origins were because too many white women were murdering the offspring of their husbands. Basically rape.
Just say
I'll say the word rape. Raping of Black women who were enslaved, and they were doing out of pure it'd be kind of upsetting to know your husband was a rapist, and also to know that your husband was sleeping with the person you're enslaving. I mean, it's just all so just messed up, It's just so messed up on so many levels. But these women apparently were doing horrendous things to these little children who had the audacity to be born. I mean, geez. And so they couldn't do something to these women because God knows we couldn't have consequences. Right. Do you want to jump in, Anna? Go ahead.
I was going to say it's a book. It's by Stephanie E. Jones Rogers. It's called They Were Her Property Too. Mm-hmm. White Women as Slave Owners in the American South. And the thing about it, in these movies, in this black pain porn, they never show these white women. Martha Washington was a vicious, disgusting slave owner on her own. She actually was more wealthier than George Washington.
She was wealthier, right?
She was wealthier when it came to, but because of marriage and all those things, she, had to marry. And when she came with her property, that was her property. And even when she freed his slaves, she didn't free hers. And what they did was back then, what she would do is, once they moved the capital from Mount Vernon to Philadelphia, Philadelphia had a grandfather clause. And if the enslaved people were in there for 6 months, you had to let them free. Mm-hmm. What she would do is march them out of Philadelphia.
Yeah. Yep. I read that as well.
Philadelphia, so the clock would restart. So these women, like I said, these women, and they sexually assaulted Black men, and they sexually assaulted Black women. So, yeah.
Yep. I did a whole video last week on the truth about some of the things that we did to enslaved humans, and a lot of it was just because we could. And it's humiliating and degrading and dehumanizing. But anyway, on to better topics. Yeah, right. Mahako, welcome. I wanted to, oh my gosh, I'm so happy you're here. And Ronald, yay, thanks for being here. I wanted to jump in really fast before we go on. I have a little, I guess, angry soccer mom take about being really, really sorry for saying really, really racist things. And I'll show you in a minute. But before we do that, I forgot the the whole abortion stuff is going down, and anti-choice, back. We'll just go right to there. The anti-choice people are really, this is from Dave saying that anti-choice people are really the most selfish hypocrites on the face of the earth. The ones I have known have low interest. Dave is not happy. I got to tell you something I know about this, and it's really sad, so bear with me, but it's also really true. I think that these anti-choice, sanctimonious, we control all of women's bodies people, they need to do a little bit more work and researching. Did you know, and Anna, you might know this, and if you don't, it's perfectly fine. It's really a hidden thing. Did you know that if your child is born too premature and alive, and I want all the people who are, pro-life no matter what, pro-life, everybody lives. A speck on a dot, if it's considered a kid, it lives. And I'm not either one. You'll never know what I think, but I can tell you one thing: I do not like hypocrites. And these Christian hospitals and Catholic hospitals, guess what they do? And the public ones too. If your child is born too premature, they have the right to not treat your child. Okay, your child's born alive. Yeah, your child's born alive. Yep. Born alive, like kakapo kaka mama, okay? But, certain statistics will say there's just a really low chance that they'll make it. So what they do to these parents is, and I don't know the answers, but this could not be the right answer. And the people who are like against women making their own decisions about their body, they certainly don't have any problem killing a baby, okay? So don't even go there. I have read and seen more videos on women who didn't know. Hell, I had my kids. I didn't know they could do that. I didn't know if my child was born too premature and perfectly alive, that the people there would stand and allow my child to die over however long, not hours, maybe it would be days. Who knows? They can refuse to treat your child, and it is perfectly allowed. All right. So maybe we need to start caring about the children who actually are born. Okay. And these kids have a poor chance of making it. They are born alive. And the mom and dad hold their baby and watch it die before their eyes as they are begging doctors and nurses to help. So that made me just like this. It just, I'm sorry. It's that the hypocrisy is real. I just think people are full of it who are like, oh, give me a break. Why aren't they all over that?
Because it doesn't fit the narrative. And the simple fact of the matter is they're pro-birth. They're not pro-life.
Pro-life. Right. Once you're born, good luck. You're on your own. I just have I do not like BS. And I have a slight amount of respect for people who are consistent. At least if you're going to be a racist, and don't get me wrong, I don't have respect. At least own up to it. Don't. If you're going to be a murderer of a child, don't go there and say that two cells are a heartbeat because there's an electrical impulse. Don't go there. Don't, anyway. So that's just my little, I guess I got a lot of little pet peeves to talk about today. But yeah, most people don't know that they will make you hold your child and your child will die. I do not think I could recover from that personally.
I mean, they don't want you to know that. That's the whole thing. Misinformation, disinformation, and lack of information. The thing about it is, if you ever read the book 1984, if you ever wondered, right, if you've ever wondered why these hooligans, these terrorists that held enslaved people, because I'm not going to call them masters anymore, these terrorists that held enslaved people, why wouldn't they want them to read? Because the more knowledge you have, the more you can fight back.
Of course.
And so a low information person or ignorant person, you can control them. That's why they called it the Dark Ages, because most of those people did not know, were illiterate. So those priests and popes could tell them anything that they wanted. So, how is it any different now?
To piggyback that, I was going to say, it's not really different now. I'm sorry to say, it is not a coincidence that overall, in the aggregate, I like that word, people who choose to vote, to get swayed by these theories that are just QAnons and these ludicrous, they are of the less, and it's kind of funny because I say less formally educated, but in general, if you're I know a bunch of people who are not formally educated and they're the smartest people I've ever known in my life. So I'm not bagging on people who don't go to college, whatever. I'm talking about people who just don't want to read, don't want to learn, don't want to put the, you can control them. Why do you think you get kicked off a jury when they see, oh, master's degree, oh, they went to college, oh, junior college, oh, we don't want them, because they can't influence you. It's just part of human nature. This is not by accident. There are white folks watching who are brand new. It was all purposeful. And that's one of the things, Anna, that was hardest for me as a white person learning all this stuff. I'm so naive. I thought, oh, well, they just didn't get what they were doing. And years and years and years of learning more and more, the opposite. It is absolutely controlled. They knew exactly what they were doing. They had farms where they would break your spirit. They had, I can't explain. It was all purposeful. And yes, they knew it was wrong. Oh my God. They knew it was wrong. So there we are. So talk about saying sorry. Just really quickly, I'm throwing this in, but I'm just going to play part of this video because I'm sorry. Well, just listen to the video. I won't blab on it. Yeah. Okay. So let's do that and we will see. Boom, boom. And there we go. Hopefully I will be able to. There we go. Every couple of months we hear about a famous person or a politician who's caught on video using a racial slur. And then the very next video we see them in is their sad and humble apology. Here's the difficult part: the senator, or really anybody, apologizing for using a racial slur. By definition, the apology is totally disingenuous. Let me explain. when someone uses language in everyday speaking, this has a direct correlation to how the person thinks. Can a person really honestly apologize for their own cognitive reality? I'm going to say no. What they're really saying is they're sorry they got caught. If I were talking to a person of color, it wouldn't matter what they said, what they did, how they were acting. I would never think to use a racial slur. The thought would never cross my mind because that's not how I think. Not once. Not ever. Would it be because I'm such a great person and I have such great self-control? No. Would it be because I think, oh, I don't want to hurt them, so I won't use that word? No. Would it be because as a white person, I know that's a really rotten thing to say to somebody? No. But I do know that, but no. It would simply be because that's not the way I think. It wouldn't dawn upon me to say something like that. I might be mad at someone, and I'd certainly tell them I was mad at them, but in a million years I would never use the N-word or a racial slur. It just doesn't come to mind. I guess my point is this. You can't apologize for who you are. And for good or for bad, speech is an indication not only of what the person wants to say, but how they think. It speaks directly to who they are as a person. I don't know about you, but I'm just not satisfied living in a society where people just don't say the N-word. I'd like to live in a society where people don't even think it. So the next time some well-known person gets caught on film using a racial slur, maybe think about what they're really trying to say. What they're really trying to say is they believe some groups are less important than others. Okay. Okay. My bottom line with this, and I hope you could hear that, is simply don't tell how sorry you are. Show how sorry you are over time. You show it with your actions and your behavior. You don't talk about it. It's so disingenuous. It's terrible. Go ahead, Anna.
I mean, the thing about it is the best apology is change behavior. And this is the thing with the media cycle that we have, people are going to forget about it because you're going to have somebody every couple of weeks, somebody's coming off and doing something racist. And it all depends on who they're talking about. Because depending on certain things you say, if you talk about Jewish people, or you're done. Or if you're talking about the LGBTQ plus, and I'm not doing the oppression Olympics, I'm just saying even in certain things, yeah, even in certain things like that, there's a hierarchy. Like you can talk about white women, you can, but it has to be very select white women who you're talking about. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh,
You
we're
can
a protected class. We're a protected
you
class.
can, right. If you talk about low class white women, you're good. But if you talk about, the Missy Ann's,
Suburban moms.
suburban moms,
Don't you dare. We are like the holy, we're this wholly protected class.
Right,
Our
exactly.
don't stink. Did you know that? I bet you didn't.
Right, I didn't. And so the thing about it is, you could talk about black women all day long. Oh, even to their faces, you can talk about black women all day long. And the simple fact, and then you have the other side of where certain women are completely ignored or fetishized. Like the situation with the Asian shops where the guy shot up those women in there. They're fetishized. I have to save them because they're my little precious China dolls and stuff like that. So, I mean, again, like I said, these people aren't sorry. They're sorry they got caught. Period. And it's the Southern strategy because it's like, well, you call each other the N word. So why is this so bad? You know what I'm saying? Or you call each other the bees. Why is it so bad? And Tahasi Coates talked about it. My wife may say that to her girlfriends, but I'm not going to say that to, you know what I'm saying, her girlfriends or women that I know. And it's the same thing. And the question is, why do you want to say things like that? What's his name? The one, the last white dude, you know who I'm talking about. He was in Mad Max. What's his name?
Not sure. Tell me more.
You know who I'm talking about. Oh my God. He was very anti-Semitic. You just had him in your video. I don't know what his name.
Oh, yeah.
That dude.
Yes, that
That
dude.
dude is going to be fine. That dude is fine.
Yeah.
He's going to be fine because he's considered Mel Gibson.
Mel
Thank you.
Gibson. I'm like,
Right. He's going to be fine because he's considered royalty or Hollywood royalty.
he's
He's
just
still
accepted.
working on movies.
He's still working.
He's
Yeah,
still working. But
absolutely.
that's the thing, the dichotomy that happened with Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake. That Janet Jackson was blacklisted because of that situation, but Justin Timberlake wasn't. So I mean, it's the same thing.
Yeah, there is a double, triple, quadruple standard, and white women are the protected. And it's, I think everyone should be protected, honestly. And oh, we aren't. It's not. It's not. It's the bottom line is this: the closer to the truth the general public can get to our real history, which includes all the racial history that we don't talk about, don't know about, don't discuss, all that stuff, like the hundreds and hundreds of race massacres. I don't say these things to hate on white people. I say these things because they're hidden history. We're living a lie. And the longer we live a lie, that is what keeps and perpetuates systemic racism. By living this fantasy of a lie, we can still be proud of our country and be honest about our country. They're not mutually exclusive. There are a lot of things to be proud about, but there are also a lot of lies, lie after lie after lie. And personally, if we're ever going to dismantle systemic racism, this powerful system, we got to be honest. Like Talanda, I'm tired of the phonies. I mean, yes, me too. It's the BS. I don't know what it is. If I had too much as a child, which I did, by the way, but I just can't take it. I would rather hear disgusting truths than just baloney. It drives me insane.
That's why I just wanted to cut one in. That's why I wouldn't say I respected the people down in Mississippi, but I prefer for you to let me know that you're a nasty, disgusting racist.
Mhm.
And guess what? I'm gonna stay away from you. I'm gonna keep my money, keep whatever it is I need away from you. Versus the nice races, like somebody talked about a book, the nice races
Mhm.
that will, use bigger needles on your kid because they think
Right.
black skin is
Can't
thicker.
you can't feel any pain anyways.
Right. Or it'll separate your kids at the daycare center and let the black kids eat last. You know what I'm saying? Because I know for certain those black parents came into those daycare centers and they waved and they smiled, or those teachers that teach your children that, racism doesn't exist. Or like I told you, that there's another side to the Holocaust.
Or how about a teacher who put your child with the disabled kids the second week of school because she can't read when she can. In
Correct.
fact, she can read really well because no test scores indicated she needed to be, but she's a black child. I mean, you guys, the covert shit that goes on is like it's beyond human understanding. Our Alfred says, yes, I prefer overt racism over covert racism. At least I know where I stand. I just want everyone to be labeled personally. No, I'm just kidding. Great comment. Yeah, I mean,
Where's your sign? Put your sign on.
I know, and I'm like joking, but I'm kind of not because I want to know. Like, I am privileged enough to. This is gonna sound snobby, but hey, this is real talk. I don't want my plumber. I don't want a racist plumber. I don't. I can hire any plumber I want, or whatever. If I could hire a plumber, if I could get one around here. No, I want my money to talk for me. And yes, that is privileged. Yes, that is a very privileged thing to say. Sometimes you just need a plumber. But push comes to shove, if I have any choices, I don't want my kid's doctor. I don't care if my kids are white or black, which I have both. I don't want their doctor to be racist. I don't want my kids around. I don't want, you see, it's quality of life. I don't want to encourage in any way, shape, or form giving money or somehow supporting any of this. I wanted to say hi to Bobby Cooper, who just got out of surgery, and I hope you're okay. And he's here anyway. Thank you so much. And yes, Mel Gibson. I just blanked on that dude's name. And I
Me too. That's what I'm saying. And I used to like that dude. I really did. And then I
until I
was
found
like,
out right.
dude
Yeah.
is and it wasn't because I don't think the anti-Semitic stuff came out. And I was like, whoa, dude, I can't mess with you. Like,
That's terrible.
nah. Because if you scratch, just like anything, if you scratch a liar, you scratch a thief. If you scratch a racist, you'll scratch somebody that's anti-Semitic.
A bigot.
You'll
Yeah.
scratch,
Oh, absolutely.
you'll scratch a
Hand in hand.
sexist. Yeah.
Just ask Representative Bobert. I mean, when she was doing her little display this week about Representative Omar having, at least she didn't, this made up lie that she said, I don't, for those of you who hadn't seen it, all quickly, she basically was at this get together speaking with a microphone type, thing, telling people that, I saw police in the Capitol building and racing, very upset and racing, running down the hall, and in the elevator that he was heading towards was Representative Omar, and at least, and she says something like, at least she didn't have a backpack on her, and she's of the Muslim faith, and so I mean, what the actual, and then, but she's equal opportunity. She went on to talk about Mayor Pete. Okay, Mayor Pete adopted babies, twins. You don't get to choose as a parent who's adopted a child. Your kid comes when their kid comes. It's like birth. The kid comes when it comes. It didn't come at a convenient time for this woman, apparently, and he needed to take time off to be with the babies. There's two of them, they're newborns. And so he and his husband, they had to take off. And I guess it wasn't convenient for this lady. But when you say equal opportunity, if it's it's the whole, a rising ship or whatever, a rising tide brings up all ships or whatever. I know I'm saying that wrong, but if you're going to be, it's the opposite. It's if you're going to be dissing on people because of the, amount of melanin that is active in their body, I promise you, if you're in the LGBTQ community, if they don't like your religion, it all kind of goes together. I mean,
I agree with you, because the thing about it was, her comment was he's trying to figure out how to breastfeed.
Chest feed. Yeah, chest feed.
Yeah, but the whole thing about it was, really? Like, mind your business. Like mind your business. Your husband literally pulled his penis out for a minor. Was it lewd? Like,
Oh, wow, did we? I didn't.
Yeah, her husband. Yo,
I don't
her
keep track of these
husband.
politicians. That's nice.
Yeah,
This
her
is
and
the
her
lady whose
husband.
husband whipped it out?
You said what?
This is the lady whose husband.
Yes, he was. They was at a bowling alley, and her husband like pulled his his thing out on a minor at the bowling alley, and both of them have like been arrested. Like, she has the most arrests, from what I understand, of anybody in Congress at this point. And it's not for doing things like Bernie Sanders or.
All right.
It's because she's the proverbial white woman that does whatever she wants.
Yeah. Well, she, and I'm not trying to just bag again. These are things that a lot of times what I do, Anna, and I don't know if you do this, but because this is so entrenched in our culture, we're so enculturated, every last one of us, from birth. And I can explain from birth for anyone who doesn't quite get that. Oh, I'll explain, because it's if you're kind of new to this, you might think, what? We are indoctrinated from birth. And so I kind of tend to go like the other way, push hard the other way. Like, for example, women historically have been revered, white women, and we've been like, bowed down to as if we're like these goddesses. Well, the fact of the matter is, we've been largely the instigators of propagating systemic racism. We marry husbands that are racist, and we let them, we're just sweet women. We allow them to indoctrinate our children. We don't take it upon ourselves. I mean, we of all people should know what it feels like, to be a second-class citizen, in the sense of, as women rather than men in a male-dominated society. But nope. We did not want Black men to get the vote before us. We were disgusted. And we did not, absolutely did not, once we did get the vote, finally, we didn't want Black women to have it. In fact, people say, oh, the 19th Amendment in 1920 got women the vote. No, it didn't. It got white women the vote. And this is extremely, see, details matter because, see, we're in this like fantasy of society. So I do tend to kind of like push the opposite because I know society will do all the polling the other way, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So I was going to tell you about Jason Bobert, right?
Oh, wow.
So,
yeah. Okay.
So this is the thing. In 2004, so this is in 2004, when Jason Bobert was 24, he was arrested for exposing himself to two young women at the Colorado bowling alley. His future wife, Lauren Roberts, as she was then known, who was 17 at the time, was also present and was told she was no longer welcome at the bowling alley. So the minor that he exposed himself to was his future wife.
Oh, God.
They said Jason Bobert pled guilty to public indecency and lewd exposure. He was sentenced to 4 years in jail and probation. Yeah.
Wait, he got jail time?
Yeah. They said that was sentenced to 4 days in jail.
Oh, 4 days. Did you say days?
4 days.
I said years. I was like, Jesus.
No. And subsequent 2 years of probation.
Well, she said, no. I mean, this is like sanctimony beyond like the hypocrisy of the sanctimony. The bottom line is she decided. She said she had her child in a truck so Pete shouldn't be able to have time off with his daughter and son.
What the hell is that? You had your kid in a truck.
False equivalent. That means she had her kid in the truck. I mean, I can't speak to why, but that's dangerous. And nowadays, I mean, would she do on purpose, or what is she trying to say? She went to labor prematurely. Well, what she's trying to say is she's a tough one, and kids can go play under a car for all she can. What is she trying to say? See, here's the thing, and I don't want to go on and on, but I will. Being a nice person, having integrity, being sensitive is not valued in our society. Being a jackass is. Being insensitive and a tough asswipe is. And it makes me sick because anyone can be a jerk. Anyone. Try it. It's not hard. The harder thing is taking the high road. And so when this lady comes on and showing off about, well, I didn't take care of my kids. I left them in the road. I mean, what is she trying to do? It's just she think we're going to go, oh, wow, you're cool. I think, yeah, you're kind of an asshole. I mean, I just don't get it. I'm just saying. So the whole apology thing, she apologized when you apologize, if you offended somebody in the Muslim community. Well, you know what? I don't get offended. I get disgusted. And she made me sick, what she had to say. Because she didn't have to say it. Why be an asshole to your fellow humans? My God, why? Just because? So anyway, enough about her. I'm just saying, it just kind of triggered me a little bit. So I'm here to call out things. Oh, Patrice, welcome from Ontario, Canada. Yay. Great to have you. So do you want to jump in anything else, or we're ready to?
She's batshit crazy. What are you talking about? She said, as a mother of 4, I gave birth to my kids in a truck. Like, what? That's super stupid.
And
like,
why? That's her reasoning for why.
And my whole thing about it,
go have time with his babies. I don't even.
My whole thing about it is that when you're taking paternity leave, is because your partner just went through a life-threatening, traumatic situation, or you two are trying to bond with the kid or kids. Me, I had my oldest at 20. My next time I had my twins at 32 years old. I wasn't up and spry at, you know what I'm saying? After
I had my kids at 32.
Yeah. So if you're talking, and then there's no sleep, if you're breastfeeding or whatever you're doing, the person is there to help you, and then you're nursing yourself.
It's traumatic. It is traumatic. Let's be real.
It's traumatic. Like, and then
you have this kid screaming constantly. It's like
and then if you're dealing with weight gain, you're dealing with bleeding, you're dealing with
Oh my God.
stitches, you're dealing with all of these things. I'm sorry, Cardi B and Kim Kardashian and Beyonce. I didn't look like that after I had a kid.
I didn't have 12 helpers doing all this stuff either. Right?
Exactly. So all I can say is, um, we lean on it could be worse, but you know what? It could be better. That's all I got to
Yeah,
say.
yeah. Just the bottom line is, give me a break. Um, again, I can't reiterate enough. You show you're sorry through your action, your behavior, your taught. You show you're sorry if you did something wrong through educating yourself. You do not go up and say, wham, 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 I'm sorry. And then when somebody doesn't accept your apology the way you want, make it about, oh, do you want to just, anyway. All right. I am ready to move on.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. I have a little rant, and then and this has been a topic that I probably have actually, can I be candid? Yes, I will. I've never
Yes.
spoken about because I'm a white person and there are places I don't go. Okay. And let me explain that to the people who might not understand this. As a white person, okay, I've taken it upon myself to educate myself as much as I can. And it's a lifelong venture. It's not like a hobby. It's kind of a lifestyle. But nevertheless, I will never get there. I will never know what it's like to live as a black or a brown person or an indigenous person or a person of mixed heritage in a society that's based on white supremacy. I will not know. It doesn't matter how many books I read, how many videos, how many friends I have. I will never know. And I certainly will never know better than the actual people themselves. That people listen to white people sometimes over the actual people themselves speaks volumes about our society and how incredibly racist we are. But I don't tell black people or brown people what to do, how to live. If they learn from me, that's great. But I am not speaking as an expert to black or brown people. That is just out of my lane. Okay. And so I do not usually, even if they're famous, jump into this. So today, we're going to talk about more like I want to know what you think, because it's a little confusing and it's upsetting. And I know no one has the answers, but I think it's a good discussion. So, I mean, I think it's fair to say that our democratic republic is in total jeopardy, and that unless we find a way to unite, we're doomed. But there's one fundamental, well, there's probably two, but one fundamental issue that makes uniting near impossible. And it's nothing new. It's what's always been, but it's really in the forefront. And that's the issue of race. I'm talking about the human construct, the one that white folks created. We made it up so we could pretend we're superior. That one. Our love affair with racism, combined with our capitalism on steroids, it's destroying us. We're in the twilight of our democracy. It's like the Civil War never ended, or some people never got over the fact that, yes, our Constitution now says that everybody needs to be included, So, that's what the amendments are for. So how can we come together in a compromise when we're being asked to compromise our fellow humans' rights? I mean, I'm sorry. That's just not a debatable topic. We can't meet halfway over this topic. And so compromise about systemic racism is not really possible. Yeah, I'll give you a right to exist for it. No, you can't. No. White folks, no. The wealthiest elites who run our nation are playing us as fools, us white folks, the white masses, and they count on us. They count on us white folks to be so racist that we'll go against our own best interest just to keep this false sense of superiority alive. It's like really kind of an illness, really. Okay, so this is a classic political strategy that's been used over and over again. It was used in the race riots, the race massacre. They always call it race riots. It's not a riot when people massacre you because you're brown or black. It's a race massacre, but you always have to look it up twice because people still call it a riot to make it downplayed. When Lincoln was doing the draft riots in New York City, they used it then. putting people against each other so that we'll never unite. And Lyndon B. Johnson, once again, I'm going to say it. He said it in a very antiquated way, in a very rude way, but he could not have been more right when he said, if you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him someone to look down upon, and he'll empty his pocket for you. And that is true. And the wealthiest elites who run this nation right now thank us white folks for our service. They all think we're fools being played, but hey, the following video is going to show non-white people acquiescing to and supporting racists in one way or another. As a white person, it is not my place to, it is my place to present it. And I am not, and do not get me wrong here, I am not blaming the victim. I don't care if the person is a Black person of great prestige or wealth. They still have to live in a society that perpetuates and was built on systemic racism. So I am not to say, like, how dare you have the stance you have. However, you can. And I think it's important to bring up. So, because white folks created the system and we're the ones that need to take some responsibility in dismantling it. And it's not to be the hero, and it's not to be get your picture on Facebook. It's because it's the right thing to do. And it's sick not to. So watch these people in this video try to meet halfway. You'll hear, and some of them are, I don't know if they're kidding or if they're just being politicians, or I don't know what they're doing, but you'll hear some lies. You'll hear some fabrication. You'll hear some Black and brown people trying to make nice with white folks, and in turn, legitimizing white supremacy. I don't know. The right, is using a few key non-white people as puppets to prove, using a very small sample, that Black and brown people agree with them. You see, they said that. You notice there's not a whole bunch of them. We all know who kind of they are, and there's not many more because there's a really small amount. Because if you're a Black or brown person, you kind of know what's going on. So we got to stop legitimizing the hate as an actual side. There aren't two sides to systemic racism. There's systemic racism, and there's you don't do it, and you don't participate, and you educate yourself. There's no debate. There's nothing to debate. Okay? On that lovely little teaching moment, let's see here if we can watch this interesting little montage of things I put together. We will see.
The greatest threats to our national security is domestic terrorism manifested by white supremacists. And so these are issues that we must confront. And it does not help to heal our country, to unify us as a people, to ignore the realities of that. I don't think America is a racist country, but we also do have to speak truth about the history of racism in our country and its existence today.
People are making money and gaining power by pretending we haven't made any progress at all, by doubling down on the divisions we've worked so hard to heal. You know this stuff is wrong. Hear me clearly. America is not a racist country.
Let's confront the realities and let's deal with it, knowing we all have so much more in common than what separates us. And the idea is that we want to unify the country, but not without speaking truth and requiring accountability as appropriate.
Make it really specific. If people on the right say the Republican Party is too centrist, I'm an extreme white supremacist or something like that, but I think we need to get, we need single transferable vote or whatever in campaign. You still welcome that because you're on the same page on that one issue.
Yeah, if they're going to help us transition to a more effective democracy, but I don't need to know what their stance is on things that I disagree with. People have a sense of where I'm coming from.
Okay.
But right now, I believe that there is an existential threat to the country as a result of the greatest design flaw in the history of the world. That is, and if you will help us resolve that design flaw, then we can have a discussion about anything else under the sun in a time when the democracy actually will stand the test of time.
Congressman Clyburn, appreciate you joining us. What do you make of these efforts by Republicans in Florida to restrict voting rights there?
Well, I would remind all those who seem to feel that there's something different about having a country being declared a racist country and having entities within the country doing racist things. And I think that that's the problem here. A racist country would never elect Barack Obama president or Kamala Harris vice president. But will we tolerate these kinds of racially tinged things that are taking place in Georgia, in Florida, and many other states? We now have 47 states that have introduced legislative activities that would in some way suppress voters. What is that about? So we should stop arguing about whether or not this is a racist country. It is not. Do we have racist things taking place in this country by various jurisdictions? Yes. And we need to weed it out.
Okay. Boop. Okay. That was like kind of hard to watch. What say you, ma'am? It was like,
I mean, so
calling me.
I mean, I don't negotiate with terrorists. Okay. The fact of the matter is you can put a shit sandwich and put whipped cream on it to make it taste good a little bit, but it's still a shit sandwich. Point blank and simple. You can call it. First of all, Claiborne is old, and he grew up during a time where you had to tap dance. I'm not tap dancing for anybody. The fact of the matter is, the voting laws. He's saying they're changing voting laws, right? Changing
We're not
them
in a racist
for what?
nation.
Changing them for what? You understand what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, to stop white people from voting. That's what they're doing.
So the country was instituted on the disenfranchisement and the genocide of Native Americans. Period. They didn't come here for no religious freedom. They came here to make money, and Native Americans were in the way. Okay?
Yeah, I just don't get why they were saying those things they were saying.
The primary wealth of this country was through having terrorists, having enslaved people work the land. Okay? And then you selling these people off for money so you didn't have to pay laborers. So we can play these games or whatever the case may be. And like Talanda said, right, what are you changing the laws from? Now, let's think about, we just had Thanksgiving. Why was everybody mad about Thanksgiving? Why was everybody mad about changing Columbus Day to Indigenous People Day? So yes, we're going to get into what the sausage is made of. So don't give me that bull crap about this is not a racist country. It is. If you see me walking around with a big orange wig and a big red nose and floppy shoes and a big bow tie, you're going to assume she's a clown, right? If I'm dressed up like a clown, I'm acting like a clown, 9 in 10 times, I'm a clown. So, this, like I said, for all of them, once they get to a certain point, like you said, they start tap dancing and doing what they need to do to make white people feel better. That wasn't for us. And let's talk about Kamala Harris. When Kamala Harris really first got elected, she wasn't the first Black woman. They called her the first Asian woman. Okay, let's be clear about that. And then he talked about they wouldn't have elected Barack Obama. No. White people. That was progress for white people, not Black people. Okay, let's be clear about that.
Yep.
And so, and as far as that, somebody said something about they should have voted in 2016. Lazy voters. It's not so much that people are lazy when you have, like, I think Nina Turner said it. When you have two shit sandwiches and one has whipped cream on it, it's still a shit sandwich. Point blank and simple. Did I vote for Trump? Hell no, never would. But at the end of the day, let's be clear about certain things. They're saying that we may never have a Black president again because of what Barack Obama did. Wait a minute. Let's look at all these white presidents. Let's look at
what Barack Obama did. He acted like an upstanding human. He had zero scandals. Wouldn't want
You
that.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, but what Barack Obama did, that may be the reason why they'll never elect a Black person. But you've had Woodrow Wilson, one of the most racist presidents, that showed, was it Birth of a Nation, all kinds of crap. But he's good. George Washington wasn't voted in. He was appointed. But let's look at some of these people. These people were slave owners, but you still kept electing white men. So it's trash.
When you hear, go ahead. Sorry to cut you off.
Were you going to still play the Tulsi Gabbard one?
I don't have
it's okay.
that. I don't have that, but if you want to talk about it, you're welcome to jump in.
Because I just wanted to talk about Tulsi Gabbard because, yes, he was the deported in chief, and up until Trump, he drone striked and had us in proxy wars, all kinds of stuff like that. But that's another subject. But the thing with Tulsi Gabbard, when she said that the juries were intelligent, and if this if we would have had a racist country, an all-white jury in Deep South wouldn't have convicted those three murderers. First of all, Tulsi Gabbard is trash, because if this country was so all in good, why were we worried about an all-white jury in the Deep South? Why would we be worried about that?
And also, if I can jump in we almost didn't have that case, people. Okay,
exactly.
The case was covered up by the entire freaking community,
the
police
community.
Included. Okay, so that
they wasn't even arrested for 74 days, and the only reason why we seen the video was because the dude thought it was going to exonerate him and show him, see the mean, scary Black guy running through the neighborhood.
That's how racist some people are.
Right. And that's the thing. What are you talking about?
It's taking sampling of one and saying, you see, it's like you go to a party with your spouse and he doesn't hit you that time, but he's beaten you 50 times before. Sampling of one. Oh, how could he's not a, come on. These things are just crazy.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about it is, like Tim Scott, he's doing his tap dancing. Kamala Harris is whoever's paying her. That's Jim Clyburn, whoever's paying him. And the fact of the matter, these old, back in the day people that, we're just going to pray about it type of people, they need to be gone. This is why there should be limits. Because Jim Clyburn, and I'm going to say the same thing about Maxine Waters, she needs to be gone. A lot of them, Dianne Feinstein and Biden basically it's like a weekend at Bernie's with those dudes. It's a weekend at Bernie's with them. It's just you propping these people up. They're on their last leg. Dude is gonna be 82. I think
It's not
they was,
age. So you're not being an ageist. You're saying it because of their attitudes, or
yeah, what I'm saying is, okay, I want to ask you a question. People
Mhm.
say I don't be an ageist.
Mhm.
At 65, my mother was not driving my car. I'm
that's not
sorry.
being an ageist. It's just not safe.
Right. I'm
Right,
not
right.
listen.
So what I'm saying
So-
is these people are making poor policy decisions and poor choices because they're living in another era, kind of. Is that kind of what you're
Yeah,
saying?
he just talked about Satchel Paige and called him the best Negro at the time. Like, what are you talking about, bro?
Yeah. Some
What
people
are you
haven't
talking about?
moved
And then he
along.
was talking about corn pop. Like, nobody cares about corn pop, bro. And then remember, he said the thing about is there was a white kid, and then it was a poor kid or something, and they both was in the same school, or it was something to that effect where he was just assuming that because the black kid he was poor or something to that effect. That's what I'm saying.
The
These people need to
assumption.
go.
That's like old fashioned stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I gotcha. I hear you. So
And
yeah.
the part, like you said this is why Russia is going after black voters. This is the whole thing. Black people, we're not a monolith. And what I'm saying right now is not all about all black people. I'm not speaking for the black delegation. Russia doesn't have to go after us. Russia doesn't have to do anything because the people in this country will show you exactly what we need to see. Okay. The fact of the matter is, you still have people literally banning books and wanting to burn books of Martin Luther King and of Ruby Bridges. What are you talking about?
They do not want our history to be taught.
Exactly. Where you still want this revisionist history where they refer to us as pickaninnies.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
These are the books.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
they were offended by the billions of Seuss books that they had to pick like 4 or 5 of them to not have. Oh, very offensive. But
and
yeah,
they weren't even, first of all, his family did that.
His family did that.
And the second thing about it, there were books that nobody was reading. Like, what are you talking about?
His family wanted to do it. They chose to do it. It wasn't all this like the woke people. I mean, we got to keep things real in this country because this is some scary shit going on and has been going on for quite some time. The propaganda is real. So,
David Farley said Gabbard is a Republican plant, I think, and I think Christian. This is the thing. What we got to understand about these people, that everybody's being paid by the same people. Okay? There is no such thing as a two-party system. We got these people that's going to pretend and get paid, and these people that are not going to pretend and get paid. That's it at this point in time.
Yeah, it's a tough. I just, as a looking at when you Anna, and I don't know if this is too personal or what, but you can just tell me not go on there. But when you see black people and brown people who are in high positions doing what you saw in that video, do you think, well, they have to make do, or you think they sold out? What do you think? And why are they doing it?
I don't speak for the black delegation.
No, I'm talking to you, just not black people, but you. What do you think?
What do I? What?
In your opinion? Yeah.
So they can have a better cage. That's it. I mean, like we talked about before. I forget who it was that said it. It was, I think Cenk Uygur said it. He said they used to put you in the house. Now they just pay you. He said that. And I was like, I agree. They used to put people like them in the house. Make sure, and Malcolm X talked about it, that the fact of the matter is that type of mentality still goes on. Just like the Candace Owens, her brother, Terrence K. Williams, the Hodge twins. It's who's going to pay the money, period. Is nothing different than that. And it's called meritorious manumissions.
I mean, are they selling their personal integrity for a buck, or is that just some of them maybe, or
You really got some of them that believe the lie. You got what you
one
got.
dude sounds like he believes it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I can't say that there's an alternative reason. What I'm saying, there's a lot of Black people, a lot of Hispanic people, a lot of Asian people, a lot of Latinx people that really believe that this country isn't racist. And they believe it because it's called survivorship bias.
Mhm.
I survived it, so why can't you? Oh, well, people are going to say things like Kanye West said. He was like, you think that, racism isn't going to stop me? You think, bro, first of all, let's be clear about who you were. You were a rapper that said George Bush don't care about Black people because of Hurricane Katrina. Then you made money.
And now you're saying it's, yeah. I mean,
And now
some people are sellouts, or some people maybe are politicians and they believe that the country's not ready to hear what they have to say, or maybe they think they won't get it. I mean, there's so many reasons.
Better than making certain. Yeah, and thank you, Art Life. And Kanye says slavery was a choice. And that's the whole thing, is that you have these people, and it goes into how they've thrown us into, you're not a victim, are you? You're not a victim. The thing about it is, I have never had anybody say the Holocaust survivors, their family members, don't call me a victim of the Holocaust.
No,
you are a victim.
Here's the bottom line. Speaking the truth about history isn't victimizing. It's speaking the truth about history. Okay. Nobody's victimized by speaking what really happened and being honest. That doesn't victimize. What are you talking? It's like, it's absolutely ludicrous. Let's just be real. White folks don't want us to talk about our real racial history on so many levels for so many reasons. And they will go anywhere.
Yes.
To make up shit as to why. Like, don't victimize them. Are you kidding me? Repercussions are still happening. And
the issue is,
it's like,
right. You're right. But let me tell you what I think it is. Money. Because the simple fact of the matter is, with victims, you have to compensate them.
Right. And
that's true. It has nothing, I don't even think it has to do with the word victim, because you got Holocaust survivor, Holocaust rape survivor. That's more for the victim than it is for anybody else. But with this is about money, because now if I admit certain things,
you take responsibility.
Now you can sue me and get money from it. Think about it that way. And they're not ready. They're not ready for that. They're not ready. That's, why do I have to pay? We gave reparations to the victims of the Japanese internment camp. Black people didn't do that. I didn't have nothing to do with that. But we gave.
Absolutely.
We gave them our
taxes. Absolutely. You take
Native American
collective responsibility. Collective responsibility. It's not you personally. You didn't do it.
I didn't do.
I didn't alive then, were you?
Right. I wasn't even alive when that stuff. But Black people's tax dollars is still going to the repair of the breach that you did.
Because we're a community, and that's what we do. We take responsibility. And people, but when it comes to white supremacy, oh my God, if we don't, people always ask me, and I get this, like 10 times in my life, people have asked me, so you think we'll get reparations? I'm laughing my head off. And I say to them, and I try to be polite, are you kidding me? We can't even get people to admit that there's friggin' systemic racism still going on constantly in every single area of life. Like it's thriving and living. Yeah, you're really going to get reparations? Not a chance in hell. We can't even be honest about our own fucking history. yeah, people are going to pay about the history that we can't be honest. No, we are so far gone in this fantasy that we live in of this supremacy, and it's such a weird psychological thing. Oh my God, it kind of freaks me out, you know.
But then
anyway,
you also gotta think about it. Is we're gonna have $5 Negroes.
Can you
Because
maybe
you're gonna
explain
have-
what you mean by that? Because I don't know if everyone knows the $5 Indian thing and the whole.
Okay,
I don't
so
think some people do, but
there was during the time they were basically segregating Black people from Native Americans. Even if you had Africanized feature was full blood Native American, there was a freedmen's list and there was a Dawes roll. And what was going on, it was categorizing people, okay, who would get land, money, and all of these amenities, and who wouldn't get these things. White people were paying this person by the name of Dawes to put their name on the list. So when you see these white people and they're like, oh, I'm a third Cherokee and all this, you're like, what? What are you talking about? It's because we call them $5 Indians. And it's going to be the same thing. You're going to have $5 Negroes that I've got 0.011 I deserve reparations too. And that's what it's going to be. And then what's going to come into play is a lot of those biracial children. That's what's going to come into play too. Yeah.
It's not even going to be. I mean, the bottom line is we got a hell of a lot of growing up to do in this country on the emotional level. The denial is real, and it's don't delete my comment. I'm not deleting your comment, Bobby. Actually, I don't really know how to delete comments on this one, to be honest. Go ahead and post it. No clue why your comment's not going through. The only thing I can think of is there might be some sort of way that they auto stop it. I don't know if I had a bad word. I have no idea. This is a newer program. I don't even know how to delete people's comments.
And why are you explaining yourself, angry soccer mom?
Well, he's my friend. He's my friend, and we're pretty close friends.
Nobody's deleting comments.
Yeah, I mean, he knows I'm not deleting his comments. But anyway, so yeah, this is tough stuff to watch, and it's a place I really don't usually go because it's not my place. It's not my place. It's just not. But it's a really hard thing because the minute they find one person with active melanin and more active melanin that makes their skin tanner, the far right and the racist, you see, suddenly they represent every single person who's non-white. It's really scary. It's a tough thing to see and watch, and they're always the same people over and over again. And I don't know. Are they lying? I don't get it. I just don't get it, and I never will. Not that you get it, but I mean, who gets it? But anyway, so do you want to talk? It's getting kind of late. Do you want to talk about a couple of the topics, or what do you think?
It's up to you. What's going on, I Am Legend? It's up to you. Like I said, throughout history, we're always going to have those people that are in the said minority group that's going to help the oppressor. So I'm not surprised.
They've been indoctrinated. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been indoctrinated. And some of them, like you said, the self-hate is so real that they'll do anything not to be a. So I'm one of the good ones. You know what I mean? And they would rather be seen as a pet than anything else. And so you got to understand that white supremacy needs that. They need that because that's the buffer. And if they can't get people in your group to do it, they'll get other people do it. With Asian people, like with what I was telling you about Andrew Yang, about telling Asian people they should be deliberate.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit before we end? Let's talk about that because I don't think we really got into that.
No, we didn't get into
it. Did you hear that video, guys? Was that in that video? It was
No,
one of
no,
the
that
articles.
wasn't in the video. This was in 2020, and he wrote an op-ed. And basically, he said, this is what he said. We Asians, now this is Andrew Yang in 2020 saying this. He said, we Asians need to embrace and show our Americanness in ways we never have before. We need to step up, help our neighbors, donate gear, vote, wear red, white, and blue, volunteer, fund aid organization, do everything in our power to accelerate the end of this crisis. We should show without a shadow of doubt that we are Americans who will do our part in our country in the time of need. Demonstrate that we are part of the solution. We are not the virus, but we can be a part of the cure. And I'm like,
blame the victim. Oh my God.
I mean, we're on live chat, Talonda. But the thing about it is, what I'm saying is, why do I have to go above and beyond just to be seen as human?
It's unbelievable, really. I mean, what he said made me sick. I have a friend, my friend Tim, and he's been on here a bunch, and he's a really good friend of mine. And when I first met him, I was blown away by how he acquiesced to white fragility. It was like, oh my God. And that's not my place to say. I barely knew him. But 3 years later, I was like, Tim, do you realize you don't have to do what you're doing? Make all the white folks feel good. Because he's a big guy, he's muscular, he's dark, and people are friggin' afraid of him, basically. And he's like the nicest guy on the planet. It's like ridiculous. And he goes, oh my God. He goes, you are so right. That's all I do. And I was like, I go, I'm as a white person, I don't tell him what to do, but I was like, do you realize you do that all the time? And he goes,
but you got
yeah.
What you have to realize about that is James Baldwin said, if you turn your back on white society, you may die.
And I get that. And I'm not saying
but you got to remember who these people are around and what they want. Now, Candace Owens, yes, she, married a white man. Just because you marry somebody out your race does not mean you're going to supplicate yourself to that. But at the end of the day, it's the package. I'm one of the good ones because in this society, if Black men and Black women marry, out of their race, especially if they marry a white person, it's like a step up for us. And see, that's your prize right there. You got this white man or this white woman that thought you was good enough to marry. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
right. It makes sense. And right. I certainly wasn't suggesting in any way, shape, or form that he, not do what he's doing. But I mean, he was off the charts.
But that was his lifesaver. That was his thing.
Yeah. And you know what? Yeah. He said to me, he said, Angry Soccer Mom, that's why I started watching you. Is you're the first person who I felt like, I go, I don't tell people what I'm not Black people to do. He goes, no, but I felt like I got permission to not do that. And I was like, yeah, good, whatever, whatever you get is what you get. And it was like amazing because I don't think he realized the extent that, he was just over the top and yeah, it could kill you. Yeah. But I think it's important to be aware of that because it's not right. It's not right to have to be that way. You shouldn't have to be Superwoman. You shouldn't have to be Superman just to be treated like you matter. It's like, oh my God.
I mean, I would love for it to be like that.
Right. But reality is
the world we live in.
Mm-hmm. I know.
I can walk in, say for instance, you and I walk in somewhere, and it's happened to me before, where I'm dressed like this or whatever the case may be, and say you came in, and they would think you were the veteran over me. You know what I'm saying? Because I had somebody say, "You don't dress like a veteran. What does a veteran dress like?" Or the fact that me and my husband walk into somewhere, and they're like, well, you're the veteran. Like, no, I'm the veteran. You know what I mean? So it
You're not
all
playing the role. You're not playing the part. Right.
right.
Well, like people look at me and they see
Angry
name
soccer
Karen?
mom.
They say, Karen, is that you? And when I start calling out racism, they're like, like they don't even know what to say. They don't even know what to say. Because I mean, my daughter, my little daughter, I'm her nanny. I've been her nanny. I've been her foster mother. I've been her, oh God. I'm her grandmother. You know, I've been the person who had an affair with a black man and had this. It's like, no, I'm her fucking mom. Okay.
Right.
It's like, oops. But I mean, people, they have their ways and they gonna be Karen. Yeah. No tea. I swear to God, people, my own kid goes, you know what? I think you look like a Karen. I'm like, oh, shut up. But yeah, I mean, I do. Look at me. I know what they look like. They have kind of blondish hair. They kind of,
Yeah. I mean, you do have the Karen, like the archetype of a Karen. You do. And
then you talk, like,
yeah, I mean, I could see that. But at the end of the day, you know, you're kind of like Bo the fifth column. You are the Karen of the fifth. I mean, you're the fifth column of Karens.
Yeah. So it's like funny, but when people first see me, they definitely, I mean, we all do.
Yeah.
We all do. Like, no, you don't look like an ex-military person who's retired military, you know, but you don't have to look however you can look how the hell you want. Well, I think this is a great time to say goodnight. And
okay.
I know we didn't get to all our stuff. I hope that's okay.
That's okay. That's great. The only thing I wanted to say was for y'all that's out there, the Omicron variant did not originate in Africa.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It didn't. It was, they recognized this 11 days before they announced in the Netherlands. So please do not allow these people to have this anti-blackness, anti-Africa,
anti-African. Yet all the countries that are being banned from travel and destroying their economy are in Africa. And
yes,
you know, I'm telling you, this stuff is real. If you're a white person watching, going, huh? Maybe it was just coincidence. No. I used to, when I was younger and much more naive, I'd be like, well, no, this is purposeful, right? It is what it is. But
yes,
nothing is by accident.
Thank you so much for having me again.
I love having you. You're wonderful. You're real and you're amazing. And I am so thrilled that you enjoy our chats. And I can't thank everyone enough for being here. If you believe like I do, that it is way past time. I mean, way past time. Oh my God. For white folks to step up to the plate and take racial responsibility, not to be the hero, not to get their picture on some sort of social media, but because we're freaking humans and we care about our fellow humans and it's the right thing to do. And please consider subscribing. I have a gazillion platforms that I can't keep up with. I'm pretty honest about it. I can't keep up with it, but I would love to say hi. If you want to say hi to me personally, I would love that. I promise I will get back to you. I'm like swamped. I'm everywhere. Please fit my Facebook page. You can personal message me because I don't have a messenger anymore because I got kicked off of Facebook. But long story, enough about me. Anna, you are wonderful. Thank you for this.
Thank you. And last thing, Chadwick Boseman, we can have another Black Panther. We have 50 million Batmans, and his birthday just passed. I just want to get honor to Chadwick Boseman and tell y'all good night.
Thank you. And one last thing really fast. I went and I looked for your GoFundMe and it said it was gone.
You talking about not the GoFundMe.
I mean, not the GoFundMe. Excuse me. GoFundMe. The change.org. It was gone.
I bet.
Damn. Okay, that went away.
I'm gonna put it up again.
Okay. Oh, that was too funny. It's gone. It's like gone.
Got it.
I liked it.
They saw me.
They saw
They
you
saw
coming.
me.
Anyway, good night. Thank you, everybody. Please watch videos and subscribe and share. All right. And we'll see you
Good
next week
night.
or sooner.
Yes.
Good night, everybody.
right.
Wonderful, wonderful chat with everybody.